Magic, love, tender.
What's up, guys? My name is Chidi, and today I'm going to be taking over. And you know what it is? It's Joycelyn Space, and welcome back to her channel. So today, guys, we are going to be making Nigerian meat pie. So if you haven't tried a Nigerian meat pie before, you don't know what you're missing. I know we have Ghanaian meat pie and whatever meat pie we have, but here is time for Nigerian meat pie. So let's get into the baking. Now we have everything we need to start baking our meat pie. Now I'm going to be using chopped meat. You could actually use minced meat if you like, but I prefer using chopped meat because this gives me a more chewy consistency. You know, we Nigerians like to eat meat, and this gives me the feeling of I'm eating meat than using minced meat. So we are also going to need flour, nutmeg, and salt. Here I also have baking powder, sugar, 3 eggs, and together I have potato and carrots. Now, I'm going to be using carrot to give the filling a nice sweet taste. Now, in combination with the other spices we're going to be using, the carrot actually balances everything out. It also helps the potato give the filling a nice, good looking appearance in the dough. So I'm also going to need butter. Now here I'm going to be using cold butter. Now we need our dough to be a little crispy, and also we need it to be a little flaky. So we don't want our dough falling apart. So we are going to be using cold butter, and we also need vanilla extract and milk. We are going to bring the dry ingredients together, mix them up, and then next thing we're going to do is get our butter. And remember, guys, I said we are going to be using cold butter, okay? Cold butter alone. So we have to mix them up together. And then we need to form a sandy texture with the flour. So this is actually the most difficult part about making this meat pie. So just get ready because you're going to exercise your arms. Trust me, it's really hectic. So we're gonna keep mixing everything up until they are all well incorporated. Now we need to form a ball, and this way we're gonna be able to cover the dough with a cling film and then put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. And this is also another step to help us create the kind of dough we want for a perfect Nigerian meat pie. Getting back to our filling, you know guys, a good dough without a good filling is like a train without an engine. So now we're going to spice up our meat and then prepare it for us to cook it and put it in the dough. So I'm going to put the full ingredients of what I'm going to use to spice the meat in the description box below, so you can go there and check it and know what you're going to need to spice your own meat. If you want to do it same as me, perfect. But also you can actually spice up your meat the way you want, but I could just advise you to just use my own recipe, and then you can achieve a perfect meat pie. Now what I do is I like to steam my meat for only 5 minutes tops. That way the meat is gonna keep the moisture in it trapped in, so that our meat pie is gonna be moist inside when everything is done. And even after 2 days, you could actually still keep your meat pie moist with this kind of technique. After about 4 minutes of steaming our meat, we're going to add in about a tablespoon of flour. The flour is going to help thicken the meat. So this way, when we put it into the dough, it's not just going to fall around and be all messy. They're all going to come together and look perfect in the dough. As you can see now, everything is all set. We have our cool down meat and also our ready dough. So all we need to do is start filling up the dough. First, we're going to divide the dough into different parts. This way, it's going to be easy for us to handle the dough because we're going to start rolling now. Get your rolling pin ready, and then what we're going to do is put the dough on our surface. We're going to use our hand to flatten the dough first, that way we can easily roll it out. So we have to flatten the dough. Now you don't want your dough so flat, okay? You need it to be about 1 inch thick, so that way when you start baking, it's not just gonna look so flat and ugly and something like that. So we need the dough a bit thick. After flattening the dough, what we need now is a bowl. Now this bowl is what we're going to use to get our perfect circle. Now this is where you're going to fill up the dough, and what you can do is you can use this size, or you can actually use a smaller size, depends on the size you want your meat pie to be. For me, I love this big size. This way I could actually get about 10 meat pies, and then the bigger the better you enjoy it. Now we're going to brush the edge with some egg, and this way our meat pie will be able to seal properly. Hold one edge of the meat pie dough and then close it towards the other edge of the meat pie dough. And at the end, we're going to use a fork to seal the meat pie dough properly. So while baking, we're not going to end up with a meat pie dough that is just laughing with the mouth open. Now you want to repeat this with the rest of the dough, and then after you can now put it on the baking pan where you're going to bake the meat pie. I'm going to be using baking parchment paper. That way our meat pie doesn't stick to our pan. So if you have a baking parchment paper, you can use that. If you don't, you need to make sure you grease the surface of your pan and to avoid your pie from sticking to the pan. Now, this is where our fourth egg is going to come into play. We're going to break the egg, put it in a bowl, and then beat the egg using a brush. We're going to brush the egg on the surface of our pie. This way the pie is going to get a nice golden brown, good shiny look at the end of the baking process. Now you want to use a fork to prick a hole on the pie. This way the steam is going to be let out during the baking. If not, you get a soggy meat pie. You really don't want a soggy meat pie. We want to bake at 180 degrees Celsius for 30 to 35 minutes until our meat pie is golden brown. As you can see, I'm already getting excited to lay my hands on this beautiful meat pie. Woohoo! And our meat pie is swaggerliciously ready. Now tell me, guys, who wants a meat pie? You're gonna get a meat pie. You're gonna get a meat pie. She's gonna get a meat pie. He's gonna get a meat pie. We are all gonna get a meat pie or not. Sorry, guys, I'm only gonna be eating this, okay? I alone, apart from my wife too and my kid. But we are gonna be enjoying the meat pie. But this is what we do this for. You can actually look at a recipe and then try to replicate this recipe, and you can make your own perfect Nigerian meat pie. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and also smash the like button. So guys, we hope you enjoyed this meat pie video and this amazing recipe. And I would like you to try this out, and if you really enjoyed your meat pie, please give us a thumbs up in the comment section below. So have a wonderful time, have a wonderful month, and guys, ciao ciao.